meeting. And Melissa is going to lead us today in the pledge.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Melissa and Poppy.
Yeah. And Phoebe.
Yes, Phoebe. So introduction of new members and guests. Mike Losey, do you want to speak up?
You betcha. I don't see, am I on right now?
Yes.
You still see the flag. There we go. My name is Mike Losey, and my wife Lisa and I have been longtime members of the Chamber, as well as longtime community members. We've lived here for 40 plus years. And we've always supported Chamber and businesses here in Fortuna. Can I put in an ad here? I'm running for city council. Would now be a good time to do this?
Absolutely.
All right. As I said, we're actually old new members of the Chamber, but I want to let you Chamber folks know that I am running for city council in the November 3rd election, and I would appreciate support from any of you Chamber members. You can go to our Facebook page at Losey for the number 4 City Council, or our website, which is MikeLosey4CityCouncil.com. But I really need to show this to you because I think I really like this. Let me get up close. Is that visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That those are available. We have had a lot of people request those, but there's some available that if you would like, reach out and we'll get you a face mask.
Did you have
downtown? We'll be seeing our signs and all of that type of thing. So thank you very much.
Who made your masks, Mike?
That came from Stitch Witch, the longtime company here in Fortuna.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. We love Megan. Good job. Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Do we have any other new members or guests joining the call today?
I can introduce myself. I don't know that I'm a new member. This is my first virtual meeting with the Fortuna Chamber. I'm excited to be able to be a part of this. I believe Jessica Karenko, my counterpart, was here in the past and she told me about it. So here I am. My name is Madison Green. I'm the tribal liaison with LACO Associates. I was born and raised in Fortuna, and I live in Fortuna, and I am pushing for a Fortuna office. We have quite a few individuals that live in Fortuna, so I'm just happy to be here and to be networking with everyone and hear about the presentation today, especially with me being a tribal member. It's pretty important, something that impacts my community.
Excellent. Welcome. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes, and we have Jessica on our tourism and marketing committee, so we love her.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been great. Awesome. Well, thanks, and hope you enjoy your first meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. Any other new members or guests today joining?
I am the guest. Hi, I'm Yvette. Serena. I'm with Humboldt Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention. My other hat is I work for St. Joe's Emergency Department as the Substance Use Navigator. And I'm happy to be here with all of you. You guys are seriously so sweet. And the puppy was so cute. I think I almost cried.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. All right.
I could also introduce myself. I'm a guest. My name is Katie Jo Slaughter, and I work for Humboldt County Public Health.
in the Healthy Communities Division, and I am a health education specialist with substance use prevention. I work directly with the Humboldt Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention as the project coordinator here, and I'm also very excited to be here. And on a personal note, I just moved to Fortuna April 15th. I pulled off a intra-county move during COVID. From Arcata to Fortuna, and my daughter and I are loving it, and we're so excited. And I was really excited about this presentation because this is now my new hometown. Thank you.
Perfect. Welcome.
Excellent.
Right. And unless there's anybody else that'd like to introduce themselves as a new member or guest, I'm going to turn it back over to Renee for some chamber announcements.
Okay, so of course the most exciting one is our virtual mixer on Wednesday with the Hops and Humboldt Committee. Super excited about that. We'll have a 50-50 raffle, which as of last count, I think the grand pot is $115. So woo, it's like $57 or something. For everybody, whoever wins. And then we have some gift baskets. We've got one from Eel River Brewing Company, one from Tangles Salon, one from Umpqua, Cornerstone, Co-Central Credit Union, the Chamber, and then also FBID. So make sure you sign up online for the mixer door prize giveaway. There's a separate section. You can also still purchase raffle tickets up until right before the meeting. So that's Wednesday at 5:30. We're going to have a shelter in place scavenger hunt. If you registered before the 19th, you received an email from me with 3 of the items that will be on the hunt. So you'll already have a heads up with everybody else, and whoever wins by gathering the most stuff in their house will get a little thank you gift from us here at the Chamber. So 5:30, you can register online, fortunachamber.com/hops mixer, and get there also from the homepage on our website. So I'm excited about that. Oh, and then of course the big hops basket, that we're going to hide clues for how to get that, but you have to attend the mixer. So make sure you're signed up. We have 28 people signed up for the mixer so far, so I think we'll have a good crowd. I wanted to point out for our local businesses, the Humboldt County Restart and Reopen grants. They received 250 applications between the launch date, which was the 19th, and Friday. So within 2 days, 250 people had applied. This is for the grants in the amount of $500 or $12,000. You can apply for both grants. You can apply for one grant, however you want to do it. Go to Humboldt County's webpage and you'll see the application. It's through Go Humboldt, and that is part of the CARES funding that they received that they're turning over to local businesses. So make sure, even though it sounds like they've received a lot of applications, many may get denied for not having a business reopen certification plan. So don't let that stop you if you want to apply for those grants. I got the official word that the citywide yard sale is canceled. They had originally rescheduled for September. Unfortunately, the reopening plan was not approved by public health just due to the size of the crowds that would be gathering on Main Street. Of course, individuals in their homes are still able to do a yard sale if they want to. That's up to them. But there just won't be any function downtown through the Merchants Association. Looks like the junior livestock auction is going ahead this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Humboldt County Fair Association will put more information on their website, so make sure you go to humboldtcountyfair.org. I think it's humboldtcofair.org if I'm not mistaken, and check on their homepage. There's a registration link so that you can get set up as a buyer. And they'll have more information probably, I think they said the 26th. So this Wednesday, they'll start putting more information on the webpage so you can follow along for that. Let's see, our next quarterly newsletter is coming out September 1st. So look for that in your mailboxes. That's exciting. And next week, our special guest will be Fred Robinson of Edward Jones. He's going to be talking retirement in the time of COVID. So that should be super informative. And then if everybody wants to save the date, October 5th, we're doing a candidate forum for what? City Council. And I've got Mike Losey and Tammy Trent both confirmed for that as of right now. So hopefully we can get Mr. Dean Glazier to join as well. If not, whoever shows up is who we'll interview. So if you have questions that you want to submit before, you can just email them to me at ceo@fortunachamber.com, and we'll start promoting that as we get closer to that date. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Renee. I had a quick question on the 250 applicants. Is that Humboldt County as a whole?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it was
All
3.28 million that they had allocated into 12,000 or $500 grants. Yep. So,
Got it.
yep.
Thank you.
Don't delay.
All right. I'd like to turn it over now to our featured speakers. We have Yvette Cerna, Vice Chair, and Katie Jo Slaughter, Health Education Specialist from Humboldt Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention. Thank you for joining us. It's all yours.
Thank you. Katie Jo, do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it. Let me just share my screen so we can have the PowerPoint presentation.
Great.
And you can just tell me when to advance the slides.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for having us again. This has been so great to just be part of this. I think we've only been on for 5 minutes and I'm so ecstatic. I want to move to Fortuna. Humboldt Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention, building safe and healthy communities since 2002, which is fantastic. We have been here, 18 years now? And so it's been a journey. Go ahead and advance, Katie Jo. So our vision, a community of healthy individuals free of alcohol and other drug problems. We have chosen this as, it's a prevention coalition. So we are really looking to build up our community to give them the tools to continue to do prevention work, because we know abstinence only doesn't always work, but we do our best to prevent as much as possible. Go ahead to the next slide. So a little introduction to ASAP. So Humboldt Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention is a partnership of local organizations and community members dedicated to reducing prevention within youth across Humboldt County. We provide a unique collaboration and collective space where individuals from all parts of the community come together to work with youth on substance abuse prevention. And our coalition brings together people who normally do not always work together, such as teachers, law enforcement, healthcare professionals, county employees, and what we mean by prevention is that it's focused on preventing youth use, delaying when young people use drugs, and supporting community health around alcohol and other drugs. Does anybody have questions about that? That was a lot of information in 1 second. No? Okay, let's keep going. So back to our work. Great. I hope you guys can see that on your screens, but this first little bubble that looks like one of those, I don't know what they're called. You know what I'm talking about. There you go, microphone. So it says raise public awareness. So we have 4 goals, right? So our work is around these, which is raise public awareness of the negative impacts of alcohol, commercial tobacco, and other drugs. Our star represents our promotion of responsible behavior. And then all these people who are, kind of huddled together, being friends, is build a safe and healthy community free of drugs-related harm. And then our little light bulb says, identify and apply prevention solutions that can be used to reduce alcohol, tobacco, and other drug abuse. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about what ASAP's projects in the community are a little later. If but we're going to go ahead and advance to our drug-free community slide. All right. And I think, Katie Jo, this is where I hand off to you.
Okay. So the ASAP Coalition is a community grassroots coalition that currently has federal funding. We have a drug-free communities grant. To me, it's just a really big deal that a rural county like Humboldt has this kind of funding to work on youth substance use prevention. And the DFC grant that the coalition has is managed by Humboldt County. And so any staff members related to the coalition are also county employees, which is a very strong partnership. So we get a tremendous amount of support from both Humboldt County and also from the drug-free communities, which is federal. So we get both local and federal support. And so this screen kind of shows you who we're targeting to be members of the coalition. So we recruit members from all, they're called sectors of the community. You know, everything from folks who work for substance abuse organizations, like one of our members works for Aegis, the new clinic in Eureka. We recruit youth members. We have a very active partnership with the Humboldt County Teen Corps and their leaders. We have law enforcement members from all around the county, youth serving organizations. So we're recruiting from a lot of different parts of the community. We also have members who don't quite fit onto this slide, such as what we call transition age youth. So that's young people 18 to 26. And also we've had a few college student interns, so we do that. You know, everyone who, oh,
Katie,
yep.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
You've got oh geez, sorry, that's my phone. You've got a screen blocking part of the slideshow, so I'm wondering if maybe you have your chat box open.
Oh, the chat box for Zoom?
Yeah, and it's obscuring part of your presentation screen.
How's that? Does that look better?
There you go. Perfect.
Cool. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
But now it's on the bottom.
Yeah, let me see if I can just move this over here. How about that?
Yeah, I think just close it. Just close it if you can. Yeah,
Well,
okay, that's good. Perfect. That's good.
That's
good.
my Zoom window.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. Basically, everyone in Humboldt who cares about youth substance use prevention is welcome to be a part of our coalition. And this is a breakdown of our current membership in the community. And you can see we have a lot of folks who are part of state, local, or tribal government. And this is not an exhaustive list of our membership, but this is all of our active members. So we have 36 active members. One of the reasons that we're here today is we currently do not have any active members from the business community, which is something we really want to develop. And I think when we talk later about the projects we're working on in the community, I think all of you being members of the business community might understand why we're looking for that kind of representation and input. We also do not have a lot of representation from civic groups, which is another part of our coalition that we are always looking to build up. I'm going to go to the next slide. So I wanted to show you this. This is kind of going back to drug-free communities. All of these dots are drug-free communities coalitions that are funded by the federal government in the United States. And as you can see, this little green dot right here, this is Humboldt Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention. We're the only drug-free communities coalition in a pretty wide area. And that's why I think it's, you know, really important. In 2018, there was 731 coalitions in the United States. And we've been able to, since 2002, kind of put Humboldt County, start building the coalition. And then when we got Drug-Free Communities grant funding, we were able to put Humboldt County on the map in terms of being a place that's focused on youth substance use prevention. Okay. And why is it so important that a community have drug-free communities? funding and have a coalition like this. So they sent us, the Office of National Drug Control Policy sent us this beautiful slide to let us know that more youth in drug-free communities report not misusing prescription drugs and not using alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana in the past 30 days. So the level of support really helps us to help young people. And then I want to talk about briefly, like, why are we so focused on young people? Why is it so important that we help young people delay or prevent use of alcohol and other drugs? So everything we do is really based on data and science, and we are all about protecting the growing teenage brain from alcohol and drug-related harms. So what does that mean? So for a young person, the front part of their brain is not even fully developed until the age of 25. And so it's a really critical time for them to delay any use of alcohol or drugs, or delay use as much as possible to protect their developing brain. Because their brain is in such a period of rapid growth, it is easier for teenagers and children to develop addiction than adults. And then this last one is really what like carries me every day when I go out into the community and do the work. Someone who uses alcohol before age 15 is 6 times more likely to develop alcohol use disorder. And the statistics on other drugs are similar. So anytime we can help young people to delay their use of alcohol or other drugs, we're preventing them from damaging their developing brain, and we are also giving them a better shot at a healthy lifestyle as an adult. And if anyone has any questions at any point, you can just stop me. So what I'm gonna do now before I turn it over to Yvette again to talk about our projects is I want to kind of run through some of the data. I work for public health and we love data. So if you have any questions, just stop me. I could get lost in the Humboldt County data forever, but because I find it so fascinating. But first I wanted us to look at what the stats are on young people drinking alcohol in California. So all of our data comes from the California Healthy Kids Survey. Our most recent California data comes from 2015 to 2017. So if any of you have kids in the school system, you may have experienced them doing this survey, which is very labor intensive and involves a lot of questions. And there is an alcohol and other drugs section. So 23% of 11th graders reported drinking in the past 30 days. That's overall in the state of California. So now we can look at, is it higher or lower in Humboldt County overall? So 31% of 11th graders reported drinking in the past 30 days in Humboldt County. And one thing when we go out to the classrooms, kids often tell us that other kids are underreporting or they're afraid of getting in trouble, and they don't report that they are drinking. So I always like to think that these numbers could be higher. And then I also pulled the data for Fortuna Union High School District. So the past 30-day alcohol use rate for 11th grade students in Fortuna Union High School District is 24%. So just a little bit higher than the California rate. And the data we have for Fortuna, the last data we have is 2018, 2019, so that's pretty recent. And then I wanted to show you the binge drinking rates. So we define binge drinking as 5 or more drinks in a row. So 12% of 11th graders in California are reporting that they're binge drinking in the past 30 days. So we can see if it's lower or higher in Humboldt. So 21% of 11th graders are reporting binge drinking in the past 30 days in Humboldt County overall. So that's significantly higher than what kids are reporting overall in California. And for the Fortuna Union High School District, it's 12%. So it's the same as California in Fortuna. Definitely lower than some other parts of Humboldt County, but definitely still significant and something we need to look at. And so the last data I pulled for this group is on marijuana or cannabis. And so 17% of 11th graders are reporting marijuana use in the past 30 days in California overall. So we go to classrooms and show kids this data. And so when we show them the slide for Humboldt, they have a lot of reactions. Oh wait, just one second, I went too far. So 29% of 11th graders are reporting marijuana use in the past 30 days in Humboldt County overall. A lot of times, kids will report that that number should be much higher for 11th graders in Humboldt County if kids were willing to report accurately when they take the survey. And the past 30-day marijuana use rates for 11th graders in the Fortuna Union High School District is 24%. So closer to the kind of in between the two, California and Humboldt. So I hope the data kind of shows you some of the reasons why we think it's really important to work on these issues in Humboldt County and all over Humboldt County, really. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Yvette to talk about ASAP projects.
Okay, guys, so social host ordinance creates civil and monetary penalties for adults who provide alcohol to young people in their homes and on their properties. And ASAP has been working with the community partners to successfully pass social host ordinances in the city of Eureka in 2014. And so we had to go through quite a process to get this going. And after the ordinance was passed in Eureka, service calls to EPD about underage parties decreased significantly. In 2016, young people in Eureka reported less binge drinking and less drinking with their parents' knowledge at home. Since 2014, ASAP has been exploring the possibility of social host ordinance campaigns in other jurisdictions such as Arcata, Fortuna, Ferndale, and Rio Dell. Our social host work has been on hold since spring 2020 out of respect for how busy local law enforcement has been during COVID response. So it is definitely something that has been on the back burner, but it's something that we don't want to lose hope in because it is significant to our communities to change how things are going. So that's just one of the projects that we've been working on. And like I said, it is a process. You know, you talk to local law enforcement, you talk to the community, you have to go to city council, and it is a process to get it going, but it is possible. And so that's one of them. The second thing we want to talk about is our medication disposal and safe storage. ASAP has worked to establish 12 medication disposal bins at local pharmacies, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard about them. ASAP has helped place a medication disposal bin at Green's Pharmacy in Fortuna, Palco Pharmacy in Scotia, and Rings Pharmacy in Ferndale. ASAP is working to help Garberville substation install a medication disposal bin once construction is complete on their new facility near DHHS offices in Garberville, and that will be our 13th medication disposal bin in Humboldt County. ASAP has given over 600 medication lockboxes for safe storage of medication, alcohol, and other drugs, and cannabis. We partner with Public Health, Suicide, Stigma, and Violence Prevention Program to do joint distribution of lockboxes that also work for firearms as part of our Keep It Safe program. And I think, Katie Jo, is it correct that we just got in a batch of new safe storage and we were just kind of waiting for COVID to subside? I think you're muted.
Yes, we have quite a few new of the Snap Safe lock boxes that you can see on the slide, and we are waiting to really do large community distribution until it is safe to do so.
And the next thing I want to talk about is something that is really near and dear to my heart is our Photovoice. So Photovoice, we work with groups of local young people to help them use photography and writing to express how they feel about alcohol and other drugs in their community. And we have engaged more than 100 youth in Photovoice. And last year we started a Photovoice project with Eel River Community School in Fortuna, but had to put that project on hold because of COVID-19. But we're hoping to be able to get back there soon and to start this up again. Something I kind of want to highlight about Photovoice is we did host an event, an outer space event. It's in Arcata. So there's a space called Outer Space, and it's like a music venue for young people. And we were able to kind of put together like a I guess you would say a concert. And so we had tables set up with DHHS and different organizations from them. And we had, invited the community, parents, teenagers, we had people performing. And one of the things we did was on one of the walls, we got to put up all of the Photovoice projects that we had from last year. And a lot of people, just commented and saying that it was just so beautiful to see what people are seeing through the youth eyes. And it was up to them, they got cameras, they went out into the community and they took those photos and they wrote up what it meant to them. And so a lot of them were very, very powerful. I wish we could share the gallery because it was very, very emotional to see. And so that's one of the really great projects. I think the artistic part of it is what really brings youth into it. It gives them like a lens. And so I think that's one of the most special projects that we've been able to bring to our community. One of our other projects is Talk They Hear You. How many of y'all listen to K-Slug? Because I know I'm a fan. You probably have heard this. Mind you, I am a big K-Slug fan. And every time I leave the area, I'm like, I need my K-Slug. I can't deal with this radio station. I need my K-Slug. And so one of them is Talk They Hear You. And it's mostly recently, we distributed over 1,000 palm cards to our community partners, and such as Fortuna Family Resource Center, from the federal Talk They Hear You campaign. And Talk They Hear You is a multimedia campaign to help parents and caregivers have the tools they need to talk to their kids about alcohol and other drugs. And there's even an app for smartphones. And I think Katie Jo knows how to install those things. She's way more tech savvy than I am, and to help parents start these conversations. So Humboldt County and ASAP have a license to use these materials in the community. And we also have a radio and local airwaves about Talk They Hear You, which is why I brought up K-Slug. And there's also a cannabis impaired driving ad that we have as well. So they're both currently playing 4 times a day on the radio, and maybe you have heard them. I know every time it plays, I'm just like, oh, it's ASAP. And they even say it at the end, and I get really excited. Obviously, I like the work that we do because, I know I can be a little peppy. Another thing that I want to talk about is some of our screening events. And please tell me to slow down if I'm talking way too fast. I get too excited about this stuff. But we do support community events and youth focus groups like Teen Court. And the film screening events are a great way to kind of bring youth and adults into these kind of events because we're able to bring in panels of people to talk about them. And so normally ASAP works a lot with North Coast Youth Summit that happens on the Sierra campus, but because this year it was canceled due to COVID. Recently, we hosted a roundtable conversation with our youth partners over Zoom to talk to them about COVID-19 and alcohol and other drugs in Humboldt. And we have active partnerships with groups like Humboldt County Teen Court and other agencies who work with young people to bring in the voices of youth, because that's what really needs to happen in the community. Is for us to change, we need to also have their input. And so like what is on screen written off happened last year, and I was able to host that, and we had a panel of Glenn Hayes from Open Door. We also had one of our doctors, Glenn Siegfried. We also had, oh man, I'm already forgetting his name. But we had some really great people who were able to be on the panel and just answer questions about overdose and alcohol use. And it was very powerful. We had a couple youth come and talk about and ask questions because, you know, you never really get to hear that from, you know, movies, but from a doctor's perspective, they were able to give them, you know, just really, really plain, this is how it is. And it was really powerful to see a lot of the youth say that they have had someone or know someone who died or overdosed and who's either recovering or struggling. And so it does touch everybody in the community, not just our adults, but our youth as well. And our next slide, ASAP committees. So we have a couple committees, and ASAP hosts bi-monthly coalition meetings for all of our memberships, and you know, you're always able to get involved. Members also get involved with one of our committees when they do come on board. So our steering committee is our leadership group, so it consists of planning meetings and projects, and it's our chair, Patty Torres, myself, and our coalition staff, Katie Jo Slaughter and Sarah Nelson. Our social host ordinance committee manages our social host work, and the committee members are currently law enforcement, healthcare professionals, a school board member, and county employees. And then we have Tobacco Education Network, or the 10, and they do work in the community to prevent and reduce nicotine addiction. This is a large multi-agency group of tobacco control staff and other community members that meet bi-monthly. And I just want to add that they do their own kind of presentation that we got to hear as ASAP, and it was very, very powerful. So I invite you guys, if you'd like to reach out to have them come present on vaping. It is really, really good, and the speakers are just so engaging. So I really recommend that if you guys want to talk more about vaping or tobacco. The last agency we have is our Community Against Abuse of Prescription Drugs, which is CAPT. And so they do work on reducing prescription drug misuse in the community and reducing young people's access to recreational use of prescription drugs. And this committee is actively recruiting new members. So if you're interested, please let us know. And then, before we go to our brainstorm, can I just ask if you guys have any questions? I know that was a lot of information. I couldn't see anybody's faces, so I don't know if you're like dazed by my speaking. But just any questions, please let us know before we go into this brainstorm.
I have a question. Is this data easily accessible or available to the public to share?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's called the CHICS data, California Healthy Kids Survey. All the data is on the internet and can be downloaded in multiple kinds of formats. And you can pull data by district and by grade that the survey is given. It starts in 5th grade and it goes throughout the rest of the years. And if you wanted more help on how to pull data for your specific area or a specific grade, you could definitely, we're going to share my email at the end, and you're free to email me and I can help you, walk you through it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, I think you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It sounds like your program that you have going is excellent in drug and alcohol use and prevention. You guys do a great job with your presentation too. Recently, the city of Eureka has reported significant issues with an organization in Eureka called Humboldt Area Center for Harm Reduction, HACHR. Is your group affiliated in any way with that particular organization? I'm hoping not.
Can I jump in, Yvette? If that's okay. Yeah, so I have been loosely following what is happening with Hatcher, and I'm not sure if you all are aware, but out of Healthy Communities, we also have a program that does syringe services. And so we're very separate and apart from Hatcher because we have our own program and our own client base that we are working with. I personally do not work with the North Coast AIDS Project, who is the unit in Healthy Communities who does syringe services. So I consider us very apart from Hatcher, but I am trying to follow what is happening in the community, as probably some of you are as well. I hope that kind of addresses what your question was. And in terms of ASAP, ASAP doesn't work directly with Hatcher that I know of, although we do have members that do work on the Harm Reduction Coalition, but that's another coalition doing a lot of different kinds of harm reduction work.
Okay.
And I think it's separate from Hatcher. The Harm Reduction Coalition is different from Hatcher. They are separate.
Okay. Thank you. We've had our own syringe services issues here in Fortuna, and I know that the city of Fortuna has looked into some of the ramifications of the syringe services. So I am glad that you're not affiliated though with Hatcher. Thank you.
Yeah, do you guys have any other questions or clarification on anything that we just presented on?
Yvette, this is Renee. Sorry, when the phone was ringing, I missed part of what you were saying about the social host ordinance. Can you just talk a little bit about that and how something like that might be able to come before, let's say, the Fortuna City Council, if it was something that was appropriate for our area?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, it is a process. So the first thing you would want to do is reach out to your local law enforcement, and we're happy to help you with that and help get social host ordinance out there. But it does have to come from law enforcement first, because they're going to be they're the ones who respond, you know, when it happens. So we want them on board, and then we can go from there. And we've helped write them into place. So we've always extended our hand of what can we do to help? How do we make this easier for your community? And so like with Arcata, you know, COVID happened, and then they kind of put a halt to things because, you know, it's COVID and we understand, but it doesn't mean that it can't be done. There's always a way to get things done. And the first thing to do is to reach out to law enforcement. I think you guys have a new it's not a chief, a brand new chief, right? And so, yeah, I saw him on, you know, he's got his moves. So yeah, we would love to talk with him if you guys were interested. But yeah, just let us know. We're happy to get that process started with you. And we could always, our social host ordinance committee is starting to meet back up. So we could always have like a separate meeting where we invite one of you guys or a couple of you into the meeting to kind of talk about what it would look like.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything? If not, we're going to go to our brainstorm. If Katie Jo, is it on there? There we go. So what projects, and I hear that social host ordinance might be one, what projects could ASAP work on in Fortuna and Eel River Valley that, you know, anything at all? And if you don't have an idea, we can always, you can always reach out to us and we can talk more later if you have something.
I'm not sure. Oh,
Go ahead, Madison.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm not sure where the MGC is right now with COVID and everything that's going on, but they may be a good resource to reach out to and kind of work with and collaborate with and exposing, getting exposure on ASAP.
What does MGC stand for? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'll let you go, Renee.
Yeah, it's now the Gene Lucas Community Center. It's the big community center behind Newburgh Park that the McLean Foundation helped build. Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
Renee, I think last year you were encouraging me because we were going to have a large Photovoice project we were doing with Eel River Community School, and I had reached out where we could do our Photovoice exhibit, and I think you had suggested the Gene Lucas Community Center.
yeah, probably because they have beautiful wetlands and a walking trail, and yeah, and of course meeting rooms inside. And but yeah, to answer Madison's question, yeah, they're shuttered for the time being, except for the people who are that have their offices in there.
Okay.
So like the Senior Resource Center is doing food delivery for seniors and things like that. But and the McLean offices are open part-time, but they're not open for classes or meetings, obviously.
And
But
then,
but they would be a good resource.
and then another one I was thinking about, I don't know, is it possible to go back to the slide that says the different industries that are involved? I see the business had none, but I don't know, but there are cannabis businesses, and it kind of reminds me of casinos and gambling. They still advertise for like Gambling Anonymous, and they still have these kind of reverse options for what you could be doing, some like healthier options. So I don't know how you guys feel about reaching out to some of these businesses and saying this shows that you support youth not partaking in these activities.
Yeah, so this has been something that we've, not on the coalition, but on my end of things, Blue Lake Rancheria has reached out to me about ASAP, and we've been kind of talking about what it means to maybe change the way they have smoking inside the casino. And so with COVID happening, the person who reached out to me, she was like, this is a great way to start ending smoking in the casino and start talking about what tobacco does to people in the casino. And so she's actually reaching out to the 10, one of our work groups, the tobacco work group, about it. And so I think they're going to be coming on board with us relatively soon. So that's something that is coming into the work soon. And I think that's a great idea to reach out to the casinos.
Yeah, and if there were any other businesses that would be willing to promote this as well, such as any bars or cannabis industry related businesses.
I do have a question. In looking at this graph, my first thought on this was, if for me, if I was to be an engaged member on this, would I be signing up as a parent or as a business? I mean, my first thought is as a concerned parent, therefore I wouldn't be in the category for, representative business. Maybe some of that gets missed that way.
Oh, let me jump in really quick. So a lot of our members represent multiple sectors. We usually just work with them to pick their primary sector. I am also a parent, and I also have a AOD counselor certificate. So I fit into several different sectors. Same for Yvette. And so this is just like, this slide represents people's choice of primary sector, and then they all represent other parts of the community as well. Yvette, I'm going to go to the slide for our business sector representative recruitment. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to cycle through the slides and get there.
Yeah, that was actually my question, is if I'm a local business and or civic group, how can I become involved? What would that look like? What are you looking for from businesses?
Hello.
You want me to go ahead, Katie Jo?
Yes.
Great. So so we're actively recruiting, and the commitment to be one of our 12 DFC sector reps, it's all ASAP members are asked to attend an ASAP meeting at least once every year. and meaningfully participate in community activities or coalition projects. For example, helping with Photovoice exhibit, or attending one of our meetings with Teen Court, or helping distribute medication lockboxes. And as well as all sector representatives are asked to participate at ASAP meetings, ASAP projects whenever possible, and give input when needed. We give our sector a voice at ASAP meetings, and the perspective of the business community is invaluable to our prevention work. And then they help us do outreach about the coalition and our projects in the community, and they help with long-term sustainability even after we do not have DFC funding. So it's, you know, how I've seen it personally is I go to meetings, I give my input. Usually in person we have a lot more fun because we'll like do charts and everything, and we're able to kind of really talk and everything. I'm sorry, my office is really busy. I'm in the emergency room, so I apologize. But yeah, so it's actually been pretty relaxed. And as the vice chair, I thought like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have so much work. It's really not. I've always had such a great time. Katie Jo makes it easy. Sarah Nelson makes it easy. It's something that I really enjoy, and I've been doing it for 2 years now. And you know, I'm a parent, I'm an AOD counselor, work in the emergency room. You know, I'm a dog mom. So I've felt like being part of this has been really easy, and it just feels natural as well. If you're passionate, it's easy.
That's great. And if you guys need me to help push out that, for Fortuna, let me know, because I could push that out through one of our newsletters and see if we can get some of our businesses to be representatives.
That would be great, Renee. I'll reach out to you via email after the meeting. And we are looking to do more work in Fortuna. Like I said, I will hopefully this fall be back at the Eel River Community School, even if they have to Zoom me in. I had a great time with that classroom last spring, and I'm excited to get back there and do Photovoice with that group of kids. And then we would be having an exhibit somewhere in Fortuna of all their Photovoice projects. I'm always open to go to other schools to do Photovoice. And I know that once the Tobacco Education Network and also CAPT, our Prescription Drug Committee, are back up and running, they have both been exploring projects in the Eel River Valley. So that's another reason why I'm really glad that we're here talking to you all. And then I just wanted to highlight this slide about when our next coalition meetings are. These are our last 2 meetings for the year, and everyone is invited, and they will most likely happen via Zoom. So if you are interested, please reach out to us. And here is our contact information if you want to reach out to either of us. If you have any additional questions, if you want me to help you pull data, please get in touch with us. And Yvette, do you have anything else?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for having us, and I really hope that we continue to work with each other. You guys just seem like such a lively and wonderful group, so anything we can do, you just reach out.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy. Again, we're happy to support you and get some programs in Fortuna and get some of our businesses connected, as I'm sure they would if they had more information. So I'm excited for that.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Katie Jo. Do we have any questions for either of the speakers today? All right. Well, thank you both for joining us, and thank you for all of the information. Greatly appreciated. I want to remind everybody that we have our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, the 31st, is the next chamber Zoom meeting, and that's going to be with Fred Robinson from Edward Jones. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.